There are timestamps down in the description box below in case you would like to skip to a particular time in the video that you're mostly interested in seeing. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below, because it definitely helps out this YouTube channel a lot more often, and it lets me know that you would like to see more videos like this within the near future. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started talking about all of the negative reviews on the newly released film, The Northman. Here's how this video is going to work. Right now, I have not seen the movie The Northman yet, but I will go ahead and read all of the negative reviews that are already said on Rotten Tomatoes and see what it is that they're already saying. But after I get done reading the negative reviews, it will cut to me who has actually seen the movie and discuss whether or not I agree or disagree with what they're saying, or if I actually understand where they're coming from. The other thing to understand is that I probably won't be reading every single negative review that has been said on the website, mostly because some of the reviews that have been on there will mostly say the exact same thing that every other review has already said before. So if it doesn't look like that I have actually read every single negative review that is on the website, it's mostly because I don't want to go ahead and repeat myself all over again and talk about the exact same thing that's already been discussed before. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started talking about these negative reviews and see what it is that they're saying. A visually stunning but vapid, tedious, and exhausting video game. Despite efforts from the Valkyries and Odin's Ravens, this Viking action art piece is fettered to the ground by the demands of the studio gods. Once again, I can't quite see what all the excitement is about, as the American director combines a sub-Shakespearean tale of murder and revenge with Viking mythology, shamanistic ritual, and a huge amount of bloody Dark Ages violence. You can always count on things to get weird with Eggers, but that doesn't necessarily mean they get interesting. So after seeing the movie, I'm not gonna lie guys, I kinda understand what some of the critics are actually coming from. And not to say that the movie is bad, I did like it and I do think it is good, but some of the problems that these people are having, I kinda had somewhat similar problems like they did. I think it mostly has to do with not understanding the mythology of the film and the lore of it. I don't think that some of the actors in here are doing bad. I think all of them are doing pretty good. I felt like Nicole Kidman at times felt like it was misplaced, but there is a particular reason why she is acting the way that she is. But I do get some of the frustration when it comes to like the character arcs of the film. It's a little hard to get into them because the movie is a little more style over substance. An inerrant bore stricken by lead and direction by Robert Eggers, who, despite an obviously huge budget, renders the film with absolutely no sense of adventure or excitement. The Northman is at once overwhelming and curiously uninvolving. Eggers needs to allow some moments of quiet so we can get to know the characters and feel invested in their journeys. This was too much of everything. As I think about it, this Hamlet clone needs something more like a heart and soul. The Northman has neither. Brutal battles alone do not make an epic. It takes a good story, too. I think some of the criticisms about the plot being conventional does make sense, but there is a way for this to actually be good. My problem with the film, personally, is that it takes its time a lot more often on the visuals, on the aesthetics, on the looks of it, and assumes that this is all that it needs in order for it to be a grand epic. But in order for me to really gather in the weight and the heaviness of the film, the movie doesn't really need to bring in all of this weird lore and mythology and assumes that it's just a part of its artistic culture that makes it brilliant. It's us getting right beside the characters and understand them and find a complexity to them. Now, I will admit, with Robert Eggers, sometimes with the visuals, it actually does make sense. But at other times, I can't really understand if the film is being artistic for the sake of artistic structure, because this mythology is just so vague and random at times that I'm having a hard time understanding how and what is going on in this film. A revenge thriller with an elevated horror heart and an anthropologist's eye for detail and ritual. But despite the layered imagination that went into recreating this ancient world, it is still the most conventional film yet from Eggers. The Northman can't help but feel like a wild stallion being reluctantly reined in. For all its screaming and grunting, the film is subdued, a retold revenge story with strong pillars but no inner life. Eggers' execution feels hollow, capturing the horror but undercutting the heart, so in the end, the blows, while intense and gory, don't hit as hard as I'd have hoped. There's mild satisfaction to be found in some of the destructive confrontations, but plenty of dawdling via bewildering rites, and rituals that eat up screen time, sapping opportunities for more thrilling Viking exploits. There was a point in the film where I was getting a little tiresome because the film was still sticking to that dreadful atmosphere look, and since all I know about Amleth's character is that he's filled with vengeance, it makes his character feel a little one-noted. It doesn't really add in much nuance to him. It's not to say that the film doesn't give in any effort to bring in some complexity to the character, but I feel like that the film is just missing some marks in order for me to really get into it. A one-note fiasco and a foam-flecked depiction of cartoon machismo from a gifted filmmaker who should have known better. It's ultimately rather dull and hardly any fun. While the canvas of Robert Eggers' latest is considerably broader than that of The Witch and The Lighthouse, it feels as if its psychological chaos hasn't expanded accordingly. And this is where I feel like I kind of am repeating myself again. Some of the characters feeling like they're a little one-noted and not really doing much to the plot because it's that simple and straightforward. I wouldn't say that it's all that hollow because, again, some of what Robert Eggers is doing is a little mesmerizing and somewhat appealing to how their characters are, and a way that you could be able to understand them is just, again, some of its mythology is so vague that I can't understand everything that's going on in here, and I need those details in order for me to really get into the movie. And that's it for the movie The Northman. And by the way, I don't hate this movie. I liked it, and I think it is a good movie. I just think that some of the gripes that some of the critics had with the film, I kind of had the same problem that they did also. But what did you think about The Northman? Do you actually agree with what some of the negative reviews are saying, or do you actually think that these people are nuts and you think that this film is truly a masterpiece? And I'm wrong as well. Put your thoughts down in the comment section below and let's have a conversation about it. And like this video if you agree with what I say, or dislike this video if you disagree with what I say. I don't mind the dislikes. So that is it I have for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video.